In the darkest hour of the Aeldari, when hope itself burns to ash, the Avatar of Khaine rises, a god of war incarnate, forged from the shattered soul of a deity too wrathful to die. Long ago, the Aeldari birthed a nightmare, Slaanesh, the chaos god of excess. She devoured their pantheon, but Khaine, the bloody-handed lord of battle, refused to kneel.
Welcome back to my channel, everyone. In this video, I'll be painting the fiery skin of the Avatar of Khaine. So first off, I sub-assemble him. The body and the head are separate. I use Liquitex Fluorescent ink as the first coat of paint. It goes on really well. I used white scar spray. It's a really good starting color if you want to start off using like an OSL or a bright fiery effect. So I really recommend this white spray. Now I use Fluorescent orange from the same brand. I gave it around 2 to 3 coats. Now I use Crimson. So this isn't a fluorescent ink, sorry. And what I do, I just dab it onto the raised areas of the muscles, and it's quite like watery as it's an ink, so you gotta be super careful it doesn't spill into the recesses. But what's interesting about it is because the actual skin has like creases and like wrinkles, like it's like stone, like it's made of, oh no, it's made of wraith bone, so it's like a rocky bone type of material, so it has lots of cracks. You can see them here. And what's interesting, the ink flows into these areas too, so it really starts to build up some definition and some interest. It looks a bit like a reddy pink at the moment, but that's fine because we're going to build it up. So this is how it looks. And then I do the same with the head. With the head, I have much less ink on the brush, and I barely touch the model itself. And what I do, I kind of bring the brush down from above, catching the raised areas. Also from the bottom too, on the creases of the mouth or the jaw. Now I use Maroon, which is a darker red. And I kind of just do the same again, but I kind of focus more in the center of each part. And I have much less of the ink on my brush. I just do the same thing again. I pick out the raised areas, but focusing on the middle of each raised area. So I'm trying to build a transition from the yellow to the orange to the red, and then a darker red. And it's going to get darker and darker as I work my way along this model. Again, when I'm painting the head, I have much less ink on the brush, and I'm just going from below for the jaw area, like here, and then when I'm on the forehead, I go downwards, and I try to catch the nose and the eyebrows. Then I use Sigvold Burgundy, which is a contrast paint from Citadel, and again I focus more into the center of each of the raised areas, so it's getting darker and darker now. Now I use titanium white, which is an ink. And what I do, I just let it flow into all the recesses. You can also add some water to it if you want it to flow even better. So you can see here it just flows so easily through all these little rivets, not rivets, sorry, the recesses. These are the areas that are going to be the hottest. So I really want to push them now and really make them look really hot. So you see the contrast between the cooler areas, which is that dark red, to the hottest areas, which is going to be yellow and white. I even go over the flames with it as well. I go back to fluorescent yellow and I do the exact same thing, but I don't need to be too careful because the white ink has kind of added a bit of a gradient, and I can use that. I can paint the yellow over that white area and it will kind of have a nice orangey yellow transition once it dries. So now the final highlight, which is Corvus Black. And now I do the same again, as in I only paint the center of each raised area. But this one I'm a bit more sparing. I sparingly use it. As you can see, when it comes to this kind of way of painting, less is more. It's the same for NMM. If you add too much of a certain color, you lose the effect, like the shiny effect or that contrast. So it's really good to be sparingly. Of course, on larger areas you can add a bit more, but things like the muscles around the ribs and the abdomen, you've got to be careful not to add too much. So it looks like this. And I also forgot to do the parts near the neck as well. This is another reason why I didn't glue the head on yet, because I really want to get all the areas that are going to be covered by this hair. For the face, I kind of dry brush, just to be careful not to cover the yellow or the orange and red. So now I'll use Doomfire Magenta, another contrast paint. And I just paint over the black area and also the darker red and the kind of orangey color, and I stop right where it touches the orange and yellow. And I really felt this had a nice, it really improved the transition from hot to cold. And also at this point you can see I've painted the armor, the base and the blade as well, and I've glued on the head as well at this point, because now it's just touching up the model. So back to fluorescent yellow, I go back into those recesses and I just basically keep going backwards and forwards, adding white, adding yellow, and just trying to really improve the brightness of these flames and the hottest areas. I'm really trying to push this contrast because it's super important. Now I use Dawn Yellow, and I just edge highlight the flames, and I also paint inside the yellow recesses too, just to make it even brighter and make it sharper. You can even use Ice Yellow from Vallejo and AK Interactive. It's a very useful color to have. People use it for NMM as well, for the final gold highlight. You can see here it's super bright now. It's a really great paint to have. And I paint the eyes with it too. I don't use white, I use this yellow. And here you can see I'm painting it into like some of the recesses. If you make a mistake like here, you can wash the brush and then kind of use water to kind of move it around. But don't wait too long, because it will dry quite quick, to be honest, and it will stain the area. You use crimson now with an airbrush. You can kind of dry brush with any other red, to be honest, but this isn't ink, so it's usually better to dry brush to airbrush it. And I just kind of zenithal the flames now, just to, you know, make them look a bit more interesting to look at and three-dimensional. And this is the final model. If you got any questions about the armor or anything else, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely make a video to show you how I did it or explain. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, because it really helps me as well. And I look forward to seeing you next time. So, goodbye everyone, happy hobbying.